Good morning. Uh, while I have my morning coffee, I thought I would share a few thoughts that are on my mind. Paladin, you stay right over there. If the dog doesn't jump on me. Um, Let me tell you the reason why I'm going to make this video because I had a little discussion on a neighborhood forum where somebody uh, posted that, that addiction is a disease like cancer. And yeah, you for many of you, you've heard it all before. And but so many people believe that, and I want to address that. And as some of you may know, I was a drug addict for 14 years, so I know what the I went through four different drug treatment programs. I know what they teach. I was in Alcoholics Anonymous. I was in Narcotics Anonymous, etc., etc. Uh, and I've been off drugs 47 years now. So I'm going to tell you a few things. All these people, we have a massive drug problem in this country, and in my local community, we have a massive drug and homelessness problem, and it's like that many places now. Many people buy into the idea that addiction is a disease, or alcoholism is a disease, both. And some of the AA members, they've been sober a long time, 25, 30 years. They still say that it's a disease. Well, addiction, alcoholism, and addiction, two forms of the same thing, really, are not, it's not a disease. It never was a disease, and it never will be a disease. So, yes, and I had some person telling me, "Oh, well, the American Medical Association recognizes it's in the DSM manual or whatever, recognizes as a disease." But so what? It's stupidity. It's not a disease. It's not a disease. So if you've gone into these drug treatment programs, or you've been hanging around AA and NA meetings and they're telling you you got a disease, it's not true. Now, maybe deep within inside you, you have this feeling. It never really set well with you that this idea it's the disease. And some people say, "Oh, I'm not a bad person. I'm a sick person getting well." And maybe that never really sat well with you. And that's the kind of person that I want to talk to. And I'm going to tell you why it didn't sit well with you. And briefly, yes, there's causes of for addiction. Um, uh, the roots of it are in trauma. My own addiction, the roots of it were in trauma, and you have to resolve these traumas. But it's more than that. It's a what it is really is an escape from the truth, the the truth in your own heart. It's an escape. It's an escape from the truth in your own heart. That's basically what it is. And you're not at peace with yourself. You don't have happiness. You don't have contentment. And you take these drugs and you feel better. And that's what you do. But there's no way that it's a disease. And that idea, the popularization of that idea came from the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And even there, it doesn't um, the it just says it's a theory. It just says it's a theory. And one of the co-founders of AA, Dr. Bob Smith, um, said that it's more of a spiritual and moral problem than it is a physical one. So all these, the AMA and the drug treatment programs, yeah, they all call it a disease, and that's very beneficial for getting insurance money and all that. But it's not truth. It's not the truth. And the truth is what sets you free. And the deep root of addiction and what happens to a person, it's really it's really quite scary to realize it if you're suffering from it. But that's but you have to realize these things to get free. And even the churches, a lot of churches, you go to churches, you go to a local Episcopal church, whatever church it is, where they have AA meetings. So the church itself is endorsing, or maybe AA and NA meetings. The church itself, in many cases, is endorsing these meetings and the things that are being said. And so, if you and a lot of the public is confused about it. They're very confused about it. Um, one lady said, "Oh, well, I have two friends. They've been sober 24 and 27 years, and they say it's a disease, and the AMA says so, and I trust them." Well, okay, but it's just not true. It's a spiritual condition. It's a spiritual condition. Now, you ever wondered, somebody gets off drugs and they're off drugs for a while? The success rates are not very great with any kind of addiction. They're not great. They're really not. And the treatment industry would have you believe that they have some magical treatment for it. No, 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 they don't. Um, they talk about a spiritual awakening. Okay, yeah, that is really the solution to the problem. And the 12 steps, yes, they talk about the 12 steps, which came out of the Bible. Mostly they're good. Uh, but why is it somebody gets off drugs, right? They get off drugs, they're off drugs 6 months, a year later, and then in many cases they relapse. They go back. They don't want that kind of life anymore, and yet they go back. So what's going on there? So first of all, let me say this: if you're one of these people that are involved in these anonymous type programs or whatever, and you go and you hear people talk about, well, you got a disease, and it doesn't sit well with you internally, it doesn't sit well with you, and um, you have an issue with that. Here's the reason why. The reason why is that the spirit of truth inside of you is letting you know, no, that's not true. It's not true. The Holy Spirit, if you want to call it that. And it's that's telling you the truth. And these people out in the world, they're not telling the truth. So if you really want to know about, uh, if you really want proof that addiction is not a disease, it's going to have to be revealed to you the same way that was revealed to me. And so if I'm assuming if you watch this far, maybe you're open-minded person and you want to know the truth, so great. So um, the Apostle Paul wrote about this, and very infrequently do I see it tied together. And you can look it up. It's in Romans. I'm going to paraphrase him. He said, "The good that I would, that I do not, and the evil that I would not, that I do." And he went on to say, if then I do, if I'm doing what I would not, it's no longer I that do it, but sin that's made a home in me. And that's really the problem. And and that's what the the churches should be teaching people the way to, some are, a few, how the way to overcome that. And it's not by your strength and it's not by your own efforts that you do, but you have to go through this, I don't know what you call it, the valley of the shadow of death or whatever. You have to go through the experience of realizing that sin's made a home in you, and God, in his mercy and compassion, through the grace of his son Jesus Christ, he's provided a means to overcome that. And it's not what the world is saying. It's not what the drug treatment professionals are saying. It's not what the American Medical Association is saying. They're all full of you know what. So that's what I have to say on the matter. I'm going to put a link down here to Christian meditation, which that can, if you have a sincere heart and an open mind, it can help you resolve the problem. So that's my little contribution to the world. And you can agree, disagree, send it to your friends, subscribe, unsubscribe, do whatever you want with it. But there it is, and God bless you. And I hope whoever you are that you're watching that, if you've had that problem, I hope you find salvation from it. And God bless.